They hopefully won't mess up, but.
You're not going to know. News.
I could put it here, and then if you use it, then just push it over.
Yeah, they can't hear me anymore, right?
Huh? Coming up on this episode of Studio G, a hit-and-run case still under investigation.
Also, bringing awareness during World AIDS Day. Studio G starts right now. Good afternoon, Rebels. Today is Wednesday, December 2nd, 2015. I'm Sarah Shelton.
And I'm Sally Ann Ficarata. Welcome to another edition of Studio G.
Last night, a hit-and-run traffic collision occurred on Desert Inn Road, west of Seneca Drive. Metro's fatal detail was called to investigate the scene. Eddie Vargas with the report.
Yesterday at approximately 5:45 p.m., Metro responded to a crash involving a hit-and-run vehicle that sent two people to the hospital near East Desert Inn and Seneca Drive.
The driver of that vehicle who caused the collision, the van, fled the scene without staying, waiting for police. It was he's described as a white male wearing dark clothing. He left northbound on Seneca. Obviously, the message here. If you're going to get in an accident, you need to stay. I mean, what this individual did is he compounded an already bad situation into something that's really going to be bad, and we will catch him.
According to the Metro Police Department, firefighters were called to the scene in order to help remove a woman and a man from a Ford pickup truck. The victims were sent to Sunrise Hospital, and the woman in the pickup truck is in extreme critical condition. Police believe the driver of the van was involved in two earlier crashes.
The van that caused the collision had two other collisions it was involved in just prior to this, just west of this location.
When Metro was investigating the scene, a drunk driver decided to drive right through the crime scene without stopping.
Well, we had right as we initially got here, we had the roads closed down. There was a vehicle that just broke through our roadblocks, sped through here, almost hit the wrecked car over here, and sped out. Luckily, police patrol cars were here. They followed him, got that person stopped, and lo and behold, they're drunk. Imagine that.
This incident is currently still under investigation, and anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers at 702-385-5555. Authorities remind drivers to obey the law and drive safe this winter break. Reporting for Studio G, Eddie Vargas.
Police are still searching for the hit-and-run driver, and if you have any information, please contact your local authorities.
Based on recent studies by UNLV astrophysicist Jason Steffen, life outside of Earth might be a bigger possibility than we initially thought. More than one planet in our galaxy of billions is habitable. Steffen and his research partner, Gongjie Li, studied possible outcomes of life in these multi-habitable systems. The Earth's climate depends on its 23.5-degree tilt of the Earth's axis relative to its orbit. A slight change of a few degrees could cause a permanent ice age. Planet pairs on similar orbits were found by NASA's Kepler spacecraft. Their orbital distances differ as little as 10%. That means if a planet pairing occurs in the right place, both planets have potential to sustain life.
Yesterday was World AIDS Day, and UNLV did its part to inform people about the disease and to start a conversation about getting tested. Reporter Taylor Carter has the story.
We decided to hold this event for World AIDS Day to spread awareness and just try to end the stigma and get people informed about the different things that we typically don't think of when it comes to HIV and AIDS. And there's definitely a lot of resources available. So we just want people to kind of learn more about what HIV is and know like how it can turn into AIDS and what kind of resources they have.
We are a global nonprofit HIV and AIDS organization, and we're out here running the mobile unit for Las Vegas. So people think that you can still get it from kissing somebody, using utensils, stuff like that. HIV is actually kind of harder to get than most people think. It's only transferred through sex or through blood, or via breast milk from mother to baby.
I think if you see more people talking about things and promoting awareness of it, then it really gets you thinking. I know a lot of people didn't realize today was World AIDS Day, so just by walking around in a populated area and seeing, oh hey, it's World AIDS Day, it really makes you think, especially everything going on in the media right now with like Charlie Sheen and everything.
HIV, we've been taught since the beginning of this disease to be afraid of it. And so now that the media is becoming, they're saying to not be as afraid of it anymore, it's kind of hard to tell somebody to stop being afraid of something once you've been taught that. Testing is very important. The only way to know that you have it is to get tested. And so general recommendation is every 3 to 6 months, depending on how active you are. Like we were just talking about, the common misconception is that in order to get a result, you have to go out of the arm. We're just going out of the finger. It's going to be quick and easy, okay? I'm going to mix that blood with those 3 vials right there. And we tell people, even if you're not that active, to just get yourself into the habit of doing it so that you know where the services are when you do actually need them.
I just really hope the students that we connected with, that we really leave a good impression on them and hopefully get them thinking about these issues and wanting to learn more about HIV and AIDS.
The AIDS Healthcare Foundation holds HIV testing on the UNLV campus every other Wednesday outside the Rebels Wellness Center. It's free and your results will only take a minute.
We have to take a short break, but up next, an update on international news.
Also an interview with Melinda Cora, a UNLV student who wants to make it big in the film industry. We'll be right back.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life to somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
Your community's farmers market. Welcoming, lively, friendly. A place where neighbors and friends come together to celebrate their community. With over 50 vendors, organic, sustainable, fresh produce are available just for you. Support and buy local at Fresh 52.
The U.S. military will deploy a new Special Operations Force to Iraq to step up the fight against Islamic State militants who are determined to hold territory they have seized in Iraq and Syria.
We're sending, on President Obama's orders and the chairman's and my advice, Special Operations Forces personnel to Syria to support the fight against ISIL.
There are currently 3,000 U.S. troops in Iraq, and President Obama previously announced that he would be sending fewer than 50 Special Forces groups to Syria. But Ash said Tuesday that the new number of forces will be greater than 50. The deployment will be in addition to the continued bombing of ISIS targets in parts of Syria.
As you know, the campaign is focused on a discrete set of targets, and the more that we can generate targets, and as you've heard, some of these aircraft that are being provided or possibly provided are reconnaissance aircraft. Those, coupled with what you've heard about some of the changes in our Special Operation Forces should be able to bring more good and discrete targets to the table for our bombers to hit. And so, yes, we will need additional capacity.
Because there's cooperation, that's what I said. You cannot destroy terrorism from the air. You cannot. That's impossible. The American has been trying this in Afghanistan for how long? More than 12 or 13 years. Did they achieve anything? Nothing. The terrorism is still strong in Afghanistan. So you cannot. You need cooperation from within that country. Any power, but the major power in Syria is the Syrian army.
Polls taken after the Paris and Beirut attacks found that Americans were divided on sending U.S. ground forces to fight ISIS.
Now we have Mateo Hawley in the newsroom for International News. Mateo.
Thank you for joining us for our Studio G International News segment. I'm Mateo Hawley. There's some questionable scientific research being done in the Pacific. Japan has sent its first whaling fleet in more than a year to the Antarctic Ocean, with a mission to kill hundreds of minke whales. A fleet of 4 vessels left the port of Shimonoseki, southwest of Tokyo, yesterday for the Southern Ocean. The expedition comes despite an International Court of Justice ruling and fierce objections from countries including Australia and New Zealand. Japan has consistently rejected calls for it to cease its whaling activities, insisting that it's vital for building a body of research. The expedition is due to end in March 2016. It's part of a new 12-year program that would kill 333 minke whales each year. That's nearly 4,000 whales over the duration of the program. The staggering number of whales being killed is startling. Now, China is dealing with an intense amount of pollution. Beijing is experiencing a high level of pollution. The Chinese government has asked 200 of the most pollutant-emitting factories to shut down. These effects of pollution are causing a high rate of respiratory infections and even closing down outdoor activities.
I brought my son to the doctors because he's been coughing very badly. The air is so bad, you can barely see other people on the street.
It's important the government tries to change this. As for me, I think people should take the subway more and drive less.
I don't think anything will change or that the government has made any progress.
Hopefully, China can grasp control over its pollution issues. If not, it could cause an epidemic. President Obama and Putin were at odds recently. President Obama made some direct statements criticizing how Russia is contributing to the conflict in Syria. They may be bombing, but they are targeting rebels that the U.S. support. And it only reinforces how Russia continues to operate on its own agenda. Here's Obama with some of what he said.
With Afghanistan fresh in the memory, for him to simply get bogged down in an inconclusive and paralyzing civil conflict is not the outcome that he's looking for. On Mr. Putin, I don't expect that you're going to see a 180 turn on their strategy over the next several weeks.
The never-ending battle of tug-of-war between the U.S. and Russia is continuing to become more tense every day. As mentioned earlier in the week, climate change was a primary focus for leaders at the G20. Climate change is an issue all countries are concerned about. Whether it's rising seas or clouds of dense fog, the planet is not getting much help from its inhabitants. Christiana Figueres, the executive secretary of the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, brought a critical point to why countries are so interested in solving this problem.
Why are 183 countries from whom we already have national climate change plans, why are they doing this? Frankly, none of them are doing it to save the planet. Let us be very clear. They're doing it for what I think is a much more powerful political driving force, which is for the benefit of their own economy. And I think that is really the story here. They have understood that this is actually in their own interest. There is nothing more powerful than you, me, or any country working in their own interest. And that is what we have here, which is fundamentally different from where we were 3 or 4 years ago.
The initiative to fix global warming may be for self-interest, but at least progress is being made. Thank you for watching. For your international news, I'm Mateo Holly. Back to the studio.
Thanks for that, Mateo. Up next, an interview with UNLV student who wants to step into the world of film. We'll be right back.
Ever wonder what makes us, the Smurfs, so happy? The forest, of course. This is where we, along with the beautiful forest creatures, make our home with beautiful plant life, clean water, and endless adventures. It's a place to celebrate. So discover the forest with your family today. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Oh, the station's great. You make friends, you gain skills, you learn how to do all this stuff with audio. It's a fantastic thing.
I can grow with everyone and everybody supports me as well as I can support them.
I think it's great. I think it's a blessing to have this kind of equipment from the Green Spun family as well as the state of Nevada.
And it's really informative to see, how a radio show really works.
Now that I do it, I have friends, I have people that want to hang out, and I get to play music a lot.
It's very good too because we have all the top of the line equipment to work with and students here that can help you out, so it's a very, very good way to get involved in the radio.
Welcome back. We have a film student hoping to make it big in the industry, Melinda Court. Welcome, Melinda. Melinda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you're a sophomore here at UNLV studying film.
Yeah.
And I know you worked on the 48-hour film festival. Can you tell me what that was like?
It was very interesting. Like my group in particular, we had like so many creative people that we had so many ideas being thrown out. So sometimes it created conflicts, but overall it was really fun and it was a great experience.
And so you only had 48 hours. Was there a lot of pressure or?
Yeah, with the 48-hour film festival, at the beginning on Friday night, we are given a character, a prop, a line of dialogue, and a genre. And we have 48 hours to create a script and a film that has all of those elements in it.
And is it like a contest? Did you happen to win?
Unfortunately, I did not, but in my heart, I won.
That's what counts. So what goes into writing a good script for a movie?
Definitely with those 4 elements that we were given, like we had to create an idea. Like my genre was thriller, so we had to focus more on like action elements, a part of it, and character development, so. Yeah.
And then what goes into having a good film crew? What do you look for?
Definitely finding people that are interested in different areas, so find someone that loves acting, directing, cinematography. Like you got to find someone that's their passion and then they'll do their best at it.
And what do you want to do?
I want to be a screenwriter and an actress.
Oh wow. So you have about 2 years left, and how many more classes do you have to do?
I have probably about 15 classes I still have to take, but just taking it one semester at a time.
And does that involve any mini movies that you have to make, or?
Not anymore. I currently am in film production, and that's about making short films, so I already got to experience that. There are some directing classes that I could probably take and acting classes, but I'm not sure yet.
And then the Spring Fling is coming up?
The Spring Flicks.
Spring Flicks.
Yeah.
Could you tell me about that?
Yeah, Spring Flicks is the other film festival that UNLV has here. The only difference is that you actually have months to work on it as opposed to just a weekend. And there's no restrictions, there's no rules. You could do whatever you want as long as it's like within 5 to 10 minutes.
Are you going to participate?
Absolutely. I'm so excited.
Is it going to be your first time?
Yes.
Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do to prepare?
Definitely meet with my friend who will be the director, brainstorm some ideas that we want to do. I know he's more into like horror, but I kind of want to do maybe something more serious, but we just have to like collaborate on it.
And what would your ideal crew be?
My ideal crew would be one person that is good at everything. So one writer, one actress, one director, one cinematographer, one editor, just to make sure we have like just one person per like film thing.
Yeah. And what are the major differences between our studio that you're in right now compared to what it would be like on a film set?
One of the biggest differences that I've noticed is that a TV studio is like always constantly running, and like it's one take, it's live, as opposed to a film, like if you mess up, you could be like, oh, just cut it and we'll do it again. So that's like the biggest difference.
So they can practice a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is there anything else you would like to add?
Just that if anyone was interested, like you don't have to be a film student to participate in any of these film festivals. Like I'd say do it because the experience it's amazing.
Great. Thank you so much, Melinda.
Thank you.
Thank you. When we come back, a nonprofit that helps adopted children. Stay tuned. Studio G will be right back.
Breathe, snot pouring out of your nose. It's a real hairy business. As a firefighter, I'm a student of the weather, and I've noticed that there's a change that's occurred in the last several years. We're having many more large and damaging fires. Sometimes thousands of fires will occur. If the climate changes and we don't have the water we need, California could dry up and blow away.
Sherwin Mushuri.
I'm Langston Carter.
Hi, I'm Holly.
My name is Anna.
My name is Jameson Wilk.
Window on the Middle East.
Spinning Indie.
Good News with Holly.
It's Jazz and a Touch of Soul.
It's Latin Nights with Anna.
The Rebel and Revolt Show.
And you can check it out on therebelhd2.com. According to a study led by UNLV anthropology professor Peter Gray, single dog owners looking for love don't have to worry as much. That is, if you compare them to cat owners. Gray found someone's pet may be a critical factor in choosing a significant other. Using data obtained from a 2014 Match.com survey, it was found that women were a bit more picky about pets than men, and that dogs were seen as a mirror of a male's caregiving capacity. Gray explains it's because domesticated animals are seen as family members, so how someone treats their pets could show how they would treat children and their mate.
It's easy to start to relax as finals and last-minute assignments fall into place. But don't relax quite yet until you've remembered to return all of your books for the semester. Sarah Shelton has the report.
The end of the semester is approaching fast, and students need to remember to return their books before late fees apply.
I'm the manager. This is Beat the Bookstore, and rentals that students rent from us are due December 12th, which is Saturday after finals by 4 p.m. We usually give a grace period until like the next Tuesday, but we try and get it sooner is better than later just in case something happens, you have to go out of town or whatnot. So take your final, bring them back. It's what we try and tell people.
When are you returning your books?
Oh, I'm going to be returning my books as soon as I'm done with the exams. It's kind of like a little celebration to drop them off. Study-wise, though, I have to be careful what I highlight in them, so I use note cards and write down all my notes on note cards and send them into the book. I rented 4 just for my history class, so, you know, my backpack's always heavy.
The returns isn't usually as busy as sales lines are, so you might have, again, on average for the most part, 7 to 8 people in line at any given time. So Monday and Tuesday, on the 7th to 8th, we are open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Wednesday and Thursday, 8 to 8. Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 5.
For Studio G, I'm Sarah Shelton.
You don't want to have to pay those fees, so remember to get your books in on time. There's nothing better than having a clean slate at the end of your semester.
With the holiday season upon us, it is perfect time to pay it forward and help those in need. Local organization needs your help to put smiles on the faces of local children. Deshola Belogan has the story.
Every child's dream is to wake up on Christmas morning to a loving family and a Merry Christmas with a tree full of presents. But unfortunately, many of them are disappointed on Christmas Day. There are 3,500 children in Clark County's foster care system, and many of them have never experienced the picture-perfect Christmas.
The children in foster care, children under the supervision of the Division of Family Services, are our children. You know, they have been taken out of homes because of abuse and neglect and placed under the supervision of local court, county court. And to my way of thinking, that makes them our children. So there's just not enough we can do to make them feel special.
The Fostering Futures Foundation's holiday celebration for children in foster care, or the Angel Tree Foundation for short, are currently holding their annual toy drive for foster children in need.
We thought this was a good idea because I know a lot of other toy drives are going around the city, but this was unique because it was specifically for foster children.
This is a project we've been doing for many, many years. And what we do is provide a big party and gifts for every child in foster care. We want to have one day where these children feel lucky.
I think it's human nature to give back, and I think this is just one way visibly to, put up signs and say, hey guys, donate to our toy drive.
It makes me feel really grateful that I grew up in a great environment, and I'm really happy to give this back to them.
We constantly need toys, but we really need to make sure that we have everything for the party on the 12th, so we can use toys for quite some time.
The toy drive is for children ages 3 to 11, but don't worry. Those under the age of 3 and over the age of 11 receive a $50 gift card. For Studio G, I'm Deshola Balogan.
If you'd like to donate, you can contact Kathy Espin in Greenspan Hall or go to fosteringfutureslv.org.
That was fun for our last show together.
I know.
I didn't realize that people looked that much into what pets actually say about people.
You know what? I was actually thinking about bringing home a new family member for Christmas.
Dog or cat?
I wanted a cat, but the roommate told me, actually, I mentioned, I want to bring home a cat for Christmas, and he's like, do you hate me?
Just do it. Just do it. My husband didn't like cats until I brought home a cat, and now he's a cat person.
See,
so maybe your roommate.
It says a lot about him. He can adapt. Roommate, maybe he's got to go. Maybe he's the one who
has to go and get the cat.
Bye, roommate.
Get a cat. Get rid of the roommate. All right. Thank you for watching today. I'm Sally Ann Ficarata.
And I'm Sarah Shelton. Have a great day, Las Vegas.